Okay, everybody, welcome out to training video 5 parts to every essential oil introductory class conversation. We're here
Hi,
live
Lucy.
with Lucy in Australia, Stacey here in the US, and Jaden and I in Florida.
Awesome.
So tonight we're going to talk about the introductory class and essential oils.
Alrighty, guys, you ready to get right into it?
That's my introduction.
Yep, awesome. Got note paper and everything ready to go?
Yep.
Awesome. So I want to teach people how to teach very effectively because you want to use your time wisely. I've seen some, very high-ranking people teach a class and they take a very long time and they lose a lot of people. I feel very blessed to learn how to teach, and I taught children. So if you can teach children, you can teach adults, right? And so it's so much more benefit that way. Anyways, every single class I teach, even when it's a one-on-one. So sometimes it sounds like a really smooth conversation, but I already have it checked off in my head, the different parts of a class. And sometimes when I'm observing one of my teammates teach a class, I'm checking it off in my head. I'm thinking, you did this, you did this, you did this. And that's in my head, and they don't know about it. So I thought, I better teach them the key components, right? And then they can remember that themselves. So that's what tonight's class is about. So even if you go out and have lunch or coffee with your friends, and then you're sitting there and they're asking you about oils, and you've said, hey, let's just go out and eat lunch and then talk about oils. And here you are, ready to go, ready to learn, yeah. But you don't have to make it into a class, a strict kind of class. You can say it in a fun way, in a normal kind of way, with all of the parts ready to go. Okay, so on the hand, you see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it's just a wonderful mnemonic device. Okay, and if we have time, because there's only 2 of you, we might be able to ask you if you want to, just to practice and see how quick you can do it. You can actually teach this in about 10 minutes. A lot of people draw out the whole class, and it's not necessary, and it's actually kind of harmful to your success because sometimes you lose people and they lose interest. Okay, so the first thing here is visit and connect. So I've seen people come to classes and they sit down, and normally you have people coming at different times. So whoever comes first, you give them your full attention. And what you're doing is you're getting to know who they are and what their needs are. Who are they and what are their needs? Okay, yeah, we sound like we're doing small talk, but we're not. And I've seen people go, yeah, sit down. And then they turn around and they kind of text or they do something, like a teacher would in a college or something, and just get ready for classes. I think, no. Stop. You're done preparing. You can do that as you teach them. You turn around and you give that person their full attention because they're important.
It's about making relationships, building relationships. Yeah,
because people come and they feel vulnerable. They're there to learn something. They're expecting some sort of results. You've got people coming to your classes all the time. Sometimes they don't even buy. Sometimes they don't even join. I've had people come for over 2 or 3 months before they actually join because they're coming for conversation. They're coming for something. And it could be just a connection of some sort. It doesn't matter because we're not here for just selling or signing up somebody. We're really there to serve. And if they can trust you and love you enough to share and connect with you, then you know exactly what to do for them when they're allowing you to connect. So, when I do that, I sit down and I talk to them, I ask them who they are, remember their names. One trick that I do is to try to write their name on their forehead. So I say that again. I like, okay, say it slowly. Okay, I got it. How do you spell it? Because I'm really trying to drill it into my head. And so Ben here, sometimes when we go to new places, we come home and he's like, what's that person's name? What's that person's name? And I'm like, oh, this name and this name and this name. And he's like, how do you remember that? Because I'm thinking this is really important. I had one lady go to a class that I sent her to because I wasn't there. It was, I was in Australia, she was in the States. And so I'm like, oh, I know a person that's doing a class that's nearby you. Come there. She went, and that person says, oh, I have to run my son to, soccer or something. Stay here, and then she'll come back. And I thought, whoa. And she, you know what? She was not happy. Because this is her very first time. She's not sure about oils. And here she's like treating like, you're not important. You stay here. I need to, duck out and come back in again because nobody's here. She's a body, even if it's just the one person. So this visit and connect is super, super important. If you don't get anything out of this whole call, get this, okay? Whoever they are super important, okay? So name, get to know their needs, right? Just visit with them. So sometimes they don't know how to identify their needs. So you talk to them, tell me about yourself, and sometimes they'll say random things, but you'll pick things up and you'll get better at it. So sometimes people go la 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 and they're all over the place. I know right away, gut problem. She's all over town. Right? She's all over the shop. Right? And then it's like, and then I have this and then this and then this. And then I'm thinking, is that the most important thing? Sometimes it is, sometimes it isn't for her. But you need to judge that. As you teach and you get better at this, you'll be able to know, actually she really needs this other thing. All right? And that might be more important. And so I just make random suggestions, not exactly focused on them. I say, if you have friends that have this problem, you might want to do, and they're like, oh, that's me. Oh, that's me. And sometimes because you don't want to say, you look like you've got weight issues. You don't want to say that. So if you're kind of wanting to whatever, and then they're like, oh, write that down. So sometimes they'll come with one or two needs because they heard a friend tell them that the oils are great for kids that have focus. And so they're rocking up just to know exactly what oils to use for their son. But then they go home going, oh, I can do so much more, right? And that's the idea. Alrighty, so that's what you do. One thing I didn't put in here, which I will cover at another class, is your objective. And this is a little bit more in depth, so I don't want to talk about tonight, but you sort of have to let them know, because your visit with them, you know who they are, but you let them know who you are too. Okay, and when you tell your story, it has to be super short, okay, because it's not about you, but you need to tell them where you've come from and why you're here. So Jade was super sick before, really needed a solution. I was so depressed. I had weight problems, all these other problems that I don't have to list everything, but just in general so they get a big picture. And then I found a solution. And as a teacher, I noticed that it's not taught and it's super easy and basic. And I felt determined to change that in the world. This is my cause, right? I want this. And so suddenly, whoever they are, sometimes they're like, oh, you know what? That's noble. That's a noble cause. That's something that I want to be a part of. Hello. Hello, Debbie. Yeah.
She's out of ball game again.
Yeah. So you know what I mean? So now you know them. Tell them a bit about you, just sufficient enough so they can go, okay, all right, I see where you're coming from. So if it's a class, I tell them, my goal here is to help educate and empower you guys. All right, so you can take some skills home and use it now. And so now they're thinking, yeah, that's what I'm going to get from this class. Okay, instead of, oh, she wants me to buy something because I was ready. I got some cash out. I was ready to buy one oil, one lip balm. I thought she was selling candles. What's going on? So, we want them to really understand why we're there. We're there to help them. As soon as they feel a heart connection with you, you have permission to sell, right? So that's awesome. You do. If they have a heart connection, just like your sister or your brother, people that you're close to. I have a girlfriend, actually it was Debbie Westcott right there. When I was talking to her, because we have such a strong heart connection, she stopped me and she's like, whatever you're selling, I'm in. I thought, okay, cool. Because she's so ready. She knows I want the best for her. So you want them to feel that way, because if you know somebody that you trust and they're telling you something, they want the best for you. You're like, whatever it is, I'm open, right? So that's the visit and connect. So any questions so far?
Oh, just, are you recording this? Because this is good stuff.
I'm recording it.
Yes.
Sorry.
Alrighty. So that's really important. We will talk more about your story and your objective later because there's more to it. Okay? That's on the schedule in a few weeks' time. But once you understand your purpose, right? Okay, so we're going to move on to the next bullet point. We have only 3 bullet points today. Okay, so the next bullet point is teach.
What's this one?
Yep, teach the 5 key parts and get it in. Get it in within 15, 20 minutes. Because people's attention span is getting shorter and shorter and shorter.
So that refers to those 5 fingers on,
5 fingers.
on that diagram.
Yeah, and you'll be able to remember it easier because you've got these 5 fingers on your hands.
Unless you have SIP. You won't be able to teach about it.
You're like, I'm so confused. I've got 6 fingers.
I'm forgetting something.
Yes, there's one extra thing. What is it? Yeah.
6-fingered man.
Yeah, the stories, they're going to come up with stories. They're going to come up with lots of questions in between. You are in command of the class. Okay, you really are. Even if it's like a friendly conversation at lunch at a cafe, you still have that command over the class. You really stay focused because you want the time, because number 5, you see, you're talking about the membership. You want them to have time to think about it because you don't want to leave it to the end of your conversation and both of you have to run and get your kids or whatever.
So you're reaching number 5 halfway through your class. So if you have an hour class, you're up to number 5 like at 30 minutes into the class.
So this is very important. So, you think to yourself, you can time yourself. And what I would do is to record myself teaching it to somebody. The first couple of times you'll feel, in Australian terms, unco, but you'll get it and then you'll say, okay, there's where I need to change, there's where I need to change. I was so afraid of listening to myself until I think after about 2 years of teaching. And I must have taught over 200 classes by the time I was brave enough to go, okay, let me critique me. And then it was so much easier. I wish I had have done it sooner. Because then it's like, oh, that's too much information. Look, they're gazed over. just move on, okay, move on. And I'm looking at me, I'm like, come on. So now I know better. So it's just the 5 things, boom, boom, boom. And your eyes are always looking and scanning and for comprehension. People that have a lot of gut problems, they'll need you to repeat and they'll need you to check for understanding, lots and lots of understanding. I'll tell you how to do that. Okay, you just have to reword it and then ask them to tell you back what you said, but not in a kind of, not a rude kind of demeaning way. Yeah.
Yes.
Condescending.
Condescending. Yes.
It's like, okay, we get it. Yeah, condescending. Got it. Yeah, so it's fun. And, I taught this in a big class in a whole, doTERRA in Australia. They have get to know you events. So I taught this in Sydney one time and we had some diamonds sitting in the back and they're like, that was the funnest class. And I thought, what? Thank you. But I think because I'm so used to teaching kids, I say, put up your fingers, 3, 4, 3 ways we use, oils, and everyone's like, okay, I'll do it. Why are we doing this? And then they laugh because then they remember. And that's just the way I teach because I have to get it into their minds so that they can apply that knowledge. Otherwise, what I have given them is not valuable. It's just a whole bunch of information. Good, but I can't apply it. I don't know how to apply. You never taught me how to apply it. Okay, we have a lot of experts with big words and we hear it all the time. You go to seminars and things and you're looking at them going, oh, you're so smart. And then you go home, you're like, I don't know what to do with that. Right? That's not what you want to do. You want them to come home and go, oh, this oil for this oil for that. Give me all of them. Yeah. And husband, stay up, get up. I want to tell you about oils. Right? So I'll tell you how to do it. At the end of the classes, sometimes I say, okay, let's review. So hope you understand what I'm trying to say. Really, what I'm saying is, let me hear that, see if you heard me right. Okay, and so I said, now you go home and you tell your husband, you go home and you tell your kids. So it's sort of inviting them to do one more step. All right, and that's what we do. Because then they're like, okay, in their heads, they're picturing themselves reviewing. And that's another way of remembering what I just taught you. You go home and you have to review it right away with somebody that you know. So these are the samples that you're going to take home and you start using it right away. All right, because you really want to have an essential oil experience. You don't have to fix all their health problems right there and then. Most of the time we can't. But if they can get a little bit of relief and experience, they go, whoa, wow. Then they're on the journey. You've opened the door, let them walk through, the natural health solution door, and then, they will go on their own journey and discover, because you don't want to necessarily be holding their hands all the time. You want them to be self-reliant. Alrighty, so let's look at each finger. And I will test you and see if you're listening. Okay, so finger number 1, the thumb. Very important, of course. Sometimes people yappity yap and start talking about essential oils when people don't even know what essential oils are. So even if they do know, even if you think they do know, I would always ask them, do you guys know what essential oils are? Are you familiar with it? Okay, that's part of the beginning part too, to really get to know who they are. And they'll say, yeah, I've been using it forever. And some people say, not really. I had a person take out a piece of tissue and then touch the oil and move it along, passing it along. I'm thinking, open the lid. Help. Really, I had a guy do that. I'm like, open the lid, have a smell, you will like it. And it was just lemon oil. Yeah, so it's hilarious. So I said, look, essential oils are natural defenses of plants. They're just derived from plants. 100% of it is from plants. That's it. So it's not chemicals, it's not poison or anything that is scary. Then it's like, oh, okay. And you can add more to this, but if, it looks like they got it, move on. In the past, I'm thinking, and it's this, and it's this, and it's this. And you can derive it from the seed and the plant and the root and everything under the sun. Okay, just too much, Jade. There's one thing, check for understanding, look at their eyes, do they get it? And, if they look like they're a little bit confused, you're like, hey, have you ever peeled an orange and then your hand's left with that oil, and you smell it and it smells like orange? That's orange oil. You already know about it. And they would say, oh, okay, yeah, I already know. Squeeze the lemon and you've got lemon oil on your hands. Yeah, so something familiar that they already know. You need to attach that knowledge to something that they've already been exposed to. Okay, and then we move on. Okay, so I would, take out a bottle of something familiar, peppermint, lemon, orange, something like that, and then just give it to them. Giving them an oil right away really helps them open up. So a trick is to give them breathe or balance. So some oil that you think will open their heart up, okay? Because then they'll be ready to learn from you. Okay, so that's number 1. What are essential oils? Easy. Okay, so number 2, there's 2 things. So you want to talk about doTERRA. You want to say the word doTERRA. And then you want to say something about certified pure therapeutic grade. So you can say, the oils that I'm talking about, it's from this company called doTERRA. And really simple words, you say, doTERRA means gift of the earth. It's the name of the company that I'm, with. Or the oils that I use is from this company called doTERRA. And do you know what doTERRA stands for? Some people do. Sometimes they've taken Latin or they've taken Spanish, or, Italian. And so they'll play with the word a little bit. But what you're really doing is helping them have an association. Okay, anytime I ask questions, it's not for me to know, it's for me to check in for understanding. Okay. So then, you know, doTERRA is very strict with their standard. They only produce very pure, very clean, therapeutic oils. Okay. Sometimes it's not necessary to go into all the science. They're going to do all these things. I do, depending on who is there. So that's what the beginning connect and visit does. So if I have some nurses there or someone that just thinks, you know, that they've got a lot of science behind them and they really need this evidence, then I'll, you know, jump it up a notch and say, well, they tested for this and this and this before, after, and during bottling. Well, you know, it's usually just the general public will just want to know that it's super pure, okay? And you can go into details about this later, okay? Because the idea is just give them a general picture, tell them how to use it, and then tell them how to get some. All right, and then that discussion part, we're going to do it later. So if they have more questions, you say, good question. It's always a good question. Good question. We'll talk about that later, okay? I'll tell you, I'll write it down, I'll remember it. Remind me about that. Good question. Because you're aware of the time. Okay?
Oh, just a thought right there. Only because we've done this in Thermomix, with their question board, you can put a Post-it note there. So when we hand out sheets, maybe they have a bit of a Post-it note, so any questions so they remember, and then they'll bring it up again. I don't know.
You know what, Lucy? I have paper with my class. So I have paper in front of them, but I also have all the forms ready to go. So even if I have lunch with a girlfriend, I say, oh, you know what? I have a form here. I carry this everywhere. It's like, oh, I have one. But I always keep it with me just in case.
Okay.
So I just don't think twice about it. Like, oh my gosh, thank you. How handy is that? It's always there. And there's a tip in the back of, there's a blank page here. You can scribble on it. And that's what they do.
Okay, cool.
Right around the margins. And you have pen ready. So if it's a class, in nearly every class we have paper and pens just ready to go. Because it's there and it's a class, it's not a party.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep. So remember the two things, it's doTERRA and it's CPTG. I've seen people turn around because they have latecomers to the class, and they'll turn around, they'll tell their friend, okay, I'll catch you up. It's really, really pure. It's really the best thing in the world. Okay, the best quality. And that's it. They're done. And the friend's like, got it. All right, let's move on. I'm like, that's quick. That's really easy. I should have done that. But it's because their friend's already trusting of them. Hurry up, sit down. We've already started. And then, oh, I really like how she said that. Yeah, none of these other things that I usually say. But you really have to gauge, because we have people that are very scientific and they really need to know everything. And that's when you're ready to go blah, 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 and meet their needs. But remember, sometimes you say, you know what? I know Sarah's here, and Sarah, you probably want to know more, right? Sarah's like, yeah, I guess so. And you say, look, I'll tell you more later at the end, okay, when we start chatting. So I just need to tell people about the basics first. Is that okay? Yeah. And so we move on. Okay. So number 3 ways we use oils. And because you've already interviewed them and connected with them, you already have in your mind a plan of the 3 oils you will use as examples of the 3 ways we use oils. Okay, the examples will be 1 oil for aromatic, 1 oil for topical, and 1 oil for aromatic. Now, aromatic, topical, and internal use. Okay, internal use. So, it just depends on what they need. So sometimes they'll say, I've got sinus concerns. All right, sinus concerns is one of the most common thing. And sinus is always about the gut. Okay, of course, the breathing. All right, so you can do 3 examples right there. So first of all, sinus, people always think it's a breathing concern. So I say, hey, the first way we use oils, and I want you to remember this. And when I say that, they try to remember it. The first way is just smelling it. So I'll give you this oil. It's called Breathe. So just put a drop in your palms, and I always demonstrate because they will learn from me being a model. Like this, and then let's do it together. Cup it over your nose and mouth, smell it. How do you like it? Good. You know what this is called? It's called breathe, right? And that's going to help open airways. So anytime we use the oils aromatically, it opens airways. You know, and sometimes they're like, oh, I like it. And you say, write it down. Okay. Oh, okay. Very obedient. Okay. So don't let them sit there still. If they're sitting still, they'll get bored. So they'll do something.
And you want to get the oils in their hands as soon as possible. Yeah. So even before you get to this stage, you know, if you're talking about what are essential oils, you might have a peppermint out there for them to smell and experience. But with this stage, they should be able to experience each of the three ways aromatically. They need to take something internally and put something on their skin. Yep.
But then I believe people are smart. So I don't believe in a set formula when you teach you need to use this oil for the aromatic, you need to use this oil for topically. No, because it's not real. It's not authentic. You haven't listened to them. You haven't, connected with them.
And you want to add value to them.
Yeah, yeah. So I see a lot of, very set, strict scripts that I think, I can't follow that. I'm not going to teach people to follow that. Okay.
So the oils you're using are, they said they have a sore knee or something.
Yeah. So I said, you know what? That sinus concern is actually a gut problem. So you want to drink, like, say, lemon oil because it breaks down mucus, but lemon will help cleanse your body, cleanse your gut. So here, try lemon. So I play it safe, and I give them something that's very common, and it's, a drop of lemon instead of digestin, because you don't know how they're going to like digestin. Yeah. Right? So here's lemon. But there's other oils for that too, but just try that. And that is an example of using the oils internally. Remember the rule of thumb, if it sounds like food, you're more than likely able to take it internally. Okay? And so, hey, write it down. Okay? And then the third way is topically. So if they have muscle problems, I'll give them something for the muscles. But if they don't, if it's this sinus concern, even if they tell you 10 problems, I've got depression, I've got all these things, you just pick one. Don't be tempted to fix it all. We have people bringing laundry lists because they heard that, bring your stuff here. And they'll say, I've got all of these things, Jade, here. No, just, we'll go through them together. And so I say, well, you know what, for sinuses, I would use like digestin on my tummy and maybe a drop here. So this is a way we can do it topically. And so, I said, try it. Just lift up your shirt and just put it on now. And it's kind of weird because people don't expect to do that, but then they do it. Make them practice it right there because it's multisensory learning, and they will remember. So now they know exactly how to help themselves. You didn't give them random examples. These examples, every one of them, meet their needs. If you have 3 or 4 people, you go, oh, what's the most common thing? What's the most common thing? Okay? And then you do that, and that's it. There's so many things that I want to tell people. And I just say, okay, there's other things too, guys, but we'll talk about that later. I really just want to help you understand the basics, okay? Because after that, you'll be expert, right? And 3, I don't go on until I ask them to tell me again, what are the 3 ways that we use essential oils? How do we use it? And then, you put up 3 fingers in this area like that, and then they'll go, looking at each other going, what was that again? What was that? And then they'll say it, and we repeat it again and again. Yay, aromatic, internal, and topical. Yep.
And usually they have some sort of sheet in front of them.
Yeah, they already have it.
Yeah.
We have little sheets that
so then they feel like
we
little
hand
kids
out.
are like, well, here's the 3 answers.
Yeah. They're like, but you gave me the answers. that they just say it anyways, right? And then they feel good because that was your goal. Your goal was to help educate and empower them. And you've done that. So you're like, okay, you're good, you feel confident? Good, you're good, you already know how to use it. And then you move on, okay? So the next one is, so you've got all these other problems. Don't worry, because we have reference guides. So you take out your Modern Center book and you show them, you just do a book orientation. Lots of teachers sell books that way. They'll say, this book is about this boy and the da-da-da-da-da-da. And the kids are like, oh, can I borrow it first? And so here you are like, well, this is a book that I just love. You hug the book and you open it up and you point to the pages and people are like, oh, I need one of those. Because it will tell you what to do. Then you're not the source of knowledge anymore. Okay, you say here, and if you're a techie person, there's an app, ding ding, and you say here, you put your little ailments in. So Sarah, you said this, right? Let's put that in. These are the oils for you, and then here, these are the oils for you. Cool, huh? And so they're like, wait, let me write that down. Right? So now they feel good. Okay, there's a way I can reference and look things up. Okay, so you say, look, in the back, they'll have oils that are that you need to be careful with, because you gave them 2 reference guides already, but you've got 2 more things to tell them, because that's finger number 4. So the 2 things is you need to dilute it. So sometimes you can dilute it with fractionated coconut oil, or you need to dilute it with, say, a lotion of some sort. Okay, so you show them these 2 options, because a lot of people would put oils on all the time as a lotion after bath. We call that aromatic dressing, right? You're dressing the oils, and of course you've got the diluted oils with the fractionated coconut. Okay, and so they know, okay, I've got to be careful. So if I have a reference guide, I'll know which ones are hot and which ones are not. You know what I used to do? I used to say, cinnamon is hot, this is hot, this is hot, this is hot, and they're like, oh, write it down. Are they going to remember? No, Jade. So I don't do that much anymore. Okay, but that's number 4. Okay, finger number 5, you say, okay, how you buy these oils is you can be a wholesale member like me, okay? And a wholesale membership is only $35, and you buy everything wholesale for the whole year. And you list, the benefits. There's no obligation to buy if you don't want to, but you have the option to buy online, and you get the best price. And if you want to be ordering on a regular basis, like me and all my friends, you actually get product points, free product points. So it's like frequent flyers. And then you actually, unlike other people's orders or membership, you can change your order and you can adapt it however you want. The dates, the order, the products, very super easy. And it's $25 renewal. Sometimes people are worried because they're like, well, $35 to start with, but then, you're going to get me next year somehow. So it's only $25 renewal. And, here's the price list and everything. Have a look. Stacey, with your brother, I walked in and I said, this form here, the purple one, is if you want to do this as a business and do what I do. And this here, the green form, it's if you just want to be a wholesale customer. And he's like, I'll do the purple one. And I'm like, I'll leave it with you. that was it. So at that point, I was like, here it is, and there. Okay? And then we're done. We're done with the main things that your part is done. Okay? And the rest of the time, you let them guide. And you make sure you punctuate it. When you're done with your 5 things, you say, guys, that's it. That's about it. Any questions, we can go through the oils if you like. I can help you with other problems that you have, because now it's discussion time. And when you say you're done, then they feel like, oh, that's all? Okay. And then they take the rest of the time, and it doesn't feel like it's your time and now it's their time. So a lot of people will stay and stay and stay, but they don't feel like you've taken their time, because they're there and they've got questions and they've got whatever it is that they want to talk about, and it's them that gets to feel that control. And that's really important. Because, you know, you've been to presentations where people make you sit and sit and sit, and you don't want to feel, you know, like you're rude. You want to get out, but you can't. But now you feel like, hey,
Yeah.
I get to ask my questions now. Well, and then you think of other people that you haven't thought about. Oh, what about my niece? She has this problem. And then, you know, you make it like a discussion. So if the more people that are there, you'll say things aloud. You say, Lucy was asking about kids that can't sleep. Oh yeah, I have somebody that I know. Say that again. What oils was that? And then everyone's writing and learning from each other. And I always try to get people to reference the book and share what you know. Hey, you look at the app, you look at this for the other problem that you said you have. Okay, can you do this? And then when you found it, let's share it. And then they feel like they're participating. They've, you know, added value to the class. Alrighty, guys. Anyone brave enough to review the 5 key things?
Sure.
Go for it, Daisy.
Okay. The first thing is you have to get to know them and try to remember their name and know something about them that way you can connect to them later and see something that they can be using the oils for. The second thing is you have to tell them the name is doTERRA, and do you know what it means? And tell them that it means like gift from the earth is what it translates as, and that they're just really particular about how we collect these oils and they make sure it's done safely. And then the next thing is teach them the 3 ways to use oils, and then try to get them to use them. Tell them, like, is that right?
Yep, the 3 ways, yep.
Okay, I'm just making sure I was at 3. Okay.
You're good, you're doing great.
Okay, and then tell them, like, the first one, just let them say that you get something that they can smell, like valence or lavender or something, and you put it on there, let them share it, and show them to smell their hands, and tell them that is something, that's the first way that we do it, is by breathing it. And so the first thing is breathe, the second thing is taking it. So then you can let them take a sip of the oil and like lemon or something, and or peppermint or something, and say this is the second way that we use oils, is by ingesting it. And then the third way is by touch. So you can let them try something like digestion or something, have them rub it on their stomach and say this will help with your sinuses and your gut or tummy issues. And that's the third way we do it. So by smell, by taking it in, and by on our body somewhere, wherever we're aching. And then the next thing you want to do is tell them if they have any questions about it, that we have a reference guide, so that if you can't learn everything from me, you can look up your sinus or your headache and find it in the book, and the book will show you which oils you need to use for that. And the only thing you need to make sure of is in the back of the book, it shows you sensitivity, and sensitivity is to what might be hot on your skin, because your child may be not sensitive like mine, but I'm very sensitive. So we need to get coconut oil or some kind of lotion, put it in, and then put the oil on so that you're not burning and hot. And so, and that you can remember that things that are hot will always be marked, and that's that. And then the next thing is 5, just about the ways that they can, yes, go ahead. Did I mess up?
No, that's it. Number 5.
5 is the benefits of having all these things and becoming a member. So they can do it simply by, if you want to just buy, you can pay $35 and become a member, and you just fill out this form, and you don't have to buy a million things. You just buy what you want to after the $35, and you can renew it every year. If you want to be like me and get discounts and things from purchasing something every month, then you want to be a member, and you can share it with other people if you want, and that's that. And is that everything?
That's good. Good. And
Okay.
you know, the discussion time will be the time when they say, oh, by the way, you know, this month there's this promotion. By the way, if you buy a kit, your 35 is waived. And things like that, that's extra, because you need them to go, where do I find 35 in this account, that account, moving things around in their heads, and then it's like, oh, what? I don't have to pay that. Yeah, I'll pick one of these kits, and then it feels good. But if you say, well, do this, it takes that special, excitement away.
Right.
So a lot of people just go, oh yeah, I need this and this and this. And I said, look, all of that is in this kit, and you get a few extras. And they're like, what? Yeah, why not? It's the same price. If there's people that are reserved, and they'll say, well, I'm not sure. I'll buy it from you, and you're already buying 3 things. And you say, well, Stacey, you're paying retail price. So it's probably the same if you get a $35 membership and buy those 3 oils. And now you have your own membership, order when you want, then get it sent to you directly to you, without having to go through me. And
that's what I told Cynthia. I said, hey, the lemon that you need and the On Guard that you need and this that you need, I have to look up the other price. I only know my price. And so I looked it up, and then I said, well, you know what? After you pay for it regular, you've already paid for it. You in one time of just buying those 3 things, you already saved the $35 of the membership, and then you're done. So I would just do the membership.
Yeah. Perfect. Yeah, exactly right. I understand if they want one thing, and I can say, look, I'll put it in my order. I'll put an order in 2 weeks from now. And sometimes they're like, ooh, I want to wait 2 weeks. Yeah, maybe I want something else. But, if they do want to wait, that's fine. Put it in and just do them a favor, because you want them to have oils to start using. And it might take them a couple of months. I had a lady that's a single mom, and she kept coming to classes. I'm thinking, she doesn't have the money. That's okay. But then after about 3 months, she just forked out $500 because she was saving for that one kit, because she'd save all this money if she got all of it all at once. So here I am judging her, thinking, okay. Yep, you never know. So Lucy?
Yeah?
Yeah? What do you think? Can you review?
Yeah. Not as good as that. That was great.
Thanks.
Okay, so the first step is to meet and greet and get to know them. Try and remember their name. And I like your little tips for remembering their name, because they go in and out with me. As you get older, you have, your memory goes.
Yeah.
So that was good. I really liked.
Also have name tags.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So do you think that works? Like, that's not, like, if you've got a good sized group, it's comfortable enough to say.
Oh no, that's fun. That's fun. Name tags, and then you can put
okay.
them in a drawer or something. You play a game so that you remember their names. They don't need to know that that's your name remembering activity, but it's like, what's your name? And then I'll write it down here, stick it on you, and then you say, okay, I'll put your name in a drawing, because we're drawing for a free peppermint tonight. And so right there, put it in there.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's a few ways that you can do it, just to get it in there.
Yeah, let me just write the name. Okay. All right. Okay. And then after you've meted and greeted, where the first point what I want to do is tell them what are essential oils. Okay. And essential oils are defense mechanisms of plants. And then talk about, like, you could have talk about an orange and peeling an orange and what you get in your hand. Well, that's exactly what they are.
Yep. Awesome.
Okay. And then you could take the opportunity to give them brie and let them smell that. Just get them smelling the oils as soon as you can. Yep. Okay, and then number 2, you move on to the name of the company. The oils that we use are doTERRA's, and why they're so important, because they're certified pure therapeutic grade, so no nasties and all that sort of thing. Mm-hmm. And if anyone wants to discuss that further, then you can talk about doing that later, so you can just keep moving it. All right. And then we talk about the 3 ways to use the oils. And I really liked what you said, and that's why I said, you recording this at the beginning, you said, you're going to go away and you're going to know how to da-da-da-da. And I think that's really empowering to say that. Mm-hmm. So the 3 ways to use the oils aromatically. So you give them an experience to open up the bottle, smell oils, and if you picked up on what someone might need, you might use that oil. So there's aromatically, there's internally. So that's where you would put the lemon oil in water. so they can drink that. Maybe not go for the Digestin, give them something mild at first. That's a good tip. And then topically. So think about, where you've got pain, maybe some aroma touch or, anything like that, or Digestin straight on the stomach. I find that's a really good experience that people feel. Because after, 30 seconds of Digestin, I was like, wow, I can feel that.
Yeah, right at your class.
I've done that with friends, but I haven't actually done it in a class, and the Digestin would be a really good one.
Yeah. So I know Debbie Gordon's on this call. I know she probably had the same experiences that I have, because you've had people at your class and you ask them, what are some of your health concerns? And you put oils on their shoulders or oils on their knees, and halfway through they're like, guys, look at my knees. I had this one lady, she was like, halfway through my class and just kicking and kicking her legs because she's so happy. And everyone's like distracted and just looked at her, and I thought, thank you for disrupting. This is perfect.
Well, I actually got Sandra, who just joined recently. We were just talking outside her house, and she was talking about, she's got such a stiff neck. I've always got past tense in my bag. And I was talking, like I'd just been telling her what else I do apart from what I was there for. Yeah. And so I pulled it out. I said, hey, try this. And I rolled it. And then we just kept talking. And while we're talking, she goes, what is that? And I had her right there. So she was so keen to learn about it. And then it was just one thing after
That's why it's so important to get this all in within the first 15 minutes, because then it's like, oils do the job while you're making it.
Yeah, well, actually, past tense would be a really good one right there. Anyone got a stiff neck?
I've had lots of past tense, stories too. It's so good.
Yeah. Okay. And, so after that, you talk about the safety and the reference guide. So bring out your modern essentials.
Yep.
Have a look at that. That's always fun. Yeah. Talk about issues some of them might have that they might like to look up. Talk about the hot oils and how you would dilute them with the fractionated.
Don't let them play with it too much.
Yeah.
This time you really want to get it in and get the membership in. So just like, look at all these, tease them with it.
Okay.
Two references. Because you have, your techie people, you have your book people, right? And so here's one reference, and if you're, a techie person, you like apps, here's an app, yay! And then you open it up, tease them, show them how to do it, but you don't hand it to them and say, here, play, because they're not going to listen.
Okay, cool.
They're not going to listen to the next thing you have to say. But you will tell them you're going to give it to them later. We'll have a look in a minute, and you'll be able to see stuff, right? And
all right, good tip.
So the two options for diluting and two references. That's why it's number 4. Okay. So number 4, you hold on, you're up there going.
Yeah. Okay.
Number 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 things. Okay.
Okay, and then you go on to talk about the benefits of the membership, the cost for the membership, the wholesale, and all that. And I love how you can throw in, without telling them right up front, when they're looking at those, okay, well, if you buy a kit, pay the $35, it's in there, and that's good.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Talk about the product points and all that.
Yeah.
And then I like we're done. And then you go on and let them look at the books.
Yeah. You already know the basics, guys. Cool. Yeah. And it's like you see yourself sharing with your husband, with your kids. You see how easy it is?
Yeah.
And they're like, and it depends on if they're moms. I'll say, hey, I taught all my kids, when they're around 7 years old, they graduate with their little keychains with their own oils, because then I double check and make sure you know what to do, which ones are your favorites, and they get a keychain. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, you're teaching kids too? They can do it too? Because you want them to relate, some sort of connection. If you've got a grandma, you don't need to talk about that. Then she's probably concerned about other things. But if you've got a mom with young kids, say something that will relate to what she is interested in or what she needs.
Cool.
So not every class is the same, actually. It's all different. But, I've had classes at cafes, at a fish shop one time. Just sat there and listened to the lady. and she's telling me all sorts of stories. And then I just jumped in and I said, well, I should tell you what, I brought with me. So I'm like, I want to get this started. And then I tell her, and because I heard all of her stories about her weight and all these problems that she's had, or surgeries and things, I jumped right in and said, oh, this is for that. If you had this, it would have been good for this. Oh, and she's like, oh, and then handed her the form, and she's like filling it out right away. Because you've given her that time of the day to hear her out first. Yeah.
Okay.
So, was that helpful?
Yeah, it was great.
Yeah.
Thank you.
The next time we'll talk about, what is it? What's the next topic? Attracting the right people. Yeah, this is good. Attracting the right people. It will be, part of it will be talking about your story, your why too. But and that's why you want to be clear on why you're really talking to, because we do, each of us have a little bit of a niche, and if we understand our niche, then it's so much more fun for us. Yeah. All right, any questions or comments?
No, it's just perfect timing.
Awesome. We're going to stop the recording.
Thanks for
Thanks for